It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host for the day, Jake Schaff, going over all of the biggest news from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. A lot of great stuff to get into today, so let's jump right into things. Chico Elementary is going to be breaking ground on their brand new facility. You're going to be able to join the West Bloomfield School District today, November 7th at 4:30 for a very special groundbreaking ceremony at 4500 Walnut Lake Road. And we have someone from our team out on the scene right now to tell us more, our very own Kevin McIntosh. Kevin, what's going on out there?
Good morning. I am standing outside the nearly 70-year-old Chico Elementary School, where excitement is growing for today's groundbreaking ceremony today at 4:30 p.m. Now, this is the start of a major transformation for Chico Elementary as they are looking to do a complete rebuild to build and provide a more modern, safe, and innovative learning environment for our young students here. Now, while construction is being done here at the school, Chico students will be attending Abbott Elementary building for their classes going forward. But today's ceremony, groundbreaking ceremony, is a testament and represents the district's commitment to updating all elementary facilities with new buildings for Chico and Doherty, as well as upgrades to Gretschko and Scotch elementary schools. These renovations will ensure that elementary students have access to flexible, age-appropriate, and collaborative spaces designed to meet the needs of today's learning standards. With input from TMP Architecture and Alt Construction behind us, the new Chico building will integrate past improvements such as site lighting and storm systems while adding new spaces for arts, special needs, outdoor learning, and early childhood education. It's an exciting day for Chico Elementary and the entire West Bloomfield community. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Lots of great details to hear with this brand new building, and I can't wait to see how the kids enjoy it once this new school is built. And if you want to keep up with updates on the construction for the new Chico building or any other updates with the school district, you can check it out on Facebook at West Bloomfield Schools to find out more. The West Bloomfield Lakers continue on their playoff run this weekend, as this Friday, the Catholic Central Shamrocks will welcome the West Bloomfield Lakers for a high-stakes playoff matchup at 7 o'clock p.m. Catholic Central is aiming to extend their impressive 10-game home winning streak dating back all the way to last season. And the Shamrocks are fresh off a 33-0 shutout against my old high school, Livonia Stevenson. Wah, wah. With Jaden Pydon leading the charge, rushing for 87 yards and scoring 2 touchdowns. Very impressive. And on the other side, West Bloomfield is coming off a dominant 49-15 victory over Novi, showcasing a very well-rounded offense. Catholic Central, now undefeated at 10-0, may be seeking redemption after falling to West Bloomfield all the way back at their last meeting in 2021. Tune in here for post-game analysis and This Week in Laker Football, which you can find at civiccentertv.com/Lakersports to find out more information. But that is sure to be a very exciting game coming up this weekend. A look inside the West Bloomfield School District's teacher training programs. Have you ever wondered what teachers do on a professional development day? Well, in the West Bloomfield School District, the English Learners Department is piloting a brand new curriculum. Teachers have received specialized training and are now evaluating the program to better support their students. Did you know that West Bloomfield School District students speak over 60 languages? Meanwhile, science and social studies teachers are taking the M-step themselves. This allows them to understand the mechanics of the online test, including tools like zooming, highlighting, and focusing techniques, skills that they will pass on to the students to help them succeed. You can see the photos right now on our screen if you are watching on civiccentertv.com. But if you are not, you can also check out the photos on the West Bloomfield School District Facebook page at West Bloomfield Schools to see all the excitement for yourself. Oakland County is once again encouraging residents to support small businesses this holiday season with its Local Gems sweepstakes. From now through November 30th, you can enter for a chance to win cash prizes by visiting local businesses, snapping some selfies, and uploading them to oakgov.com/shopsmall. Each visit counts as an entry, with prizes ranging from $1,000 for first place, $500 for second place, and $250 for third place. Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter says the sweepstakes highlights local businesses while also helping to boost the local economy. Supported by the Genesis Credit Union, this initiative aims to strengthen our community by keeping dollars circulating locally. So this holiday season, discover Oakland County's unique shops and cafes while increasing your chance to win. For more information and details, once again, you can visit oakgov.com/shopsmall. But that is sure to be a lot of fun and a great chance for the community to get out there and learn about a lot more small businesses. Local students recently had an incredible opportunity to visit the University of Michigan and their bands. The West Bloomfield High School band students had an exciting trip to the University of Michigan's Band-O-Rama. Students enjoyed performances by the university's concert, symphony, and marching bands, experiencing firsthand the talent and energy that U of M bands bring. They also got the chance to catch up with two former WBHS high school band members, Kylie Harmala and Arthur Yang, now proudly performing in the Maize and Blue. This special outing inspired students to strengthen their connection to the music that they play. Congratulations to the West Bloomfield High School Band on a very memorable day of music and community at the University of Michigan. And if you want to see all the excitement for yourself, once again, you can check out all of the photos on the Facebook page at West Bloomfield Schools. But so much excitement with the school district and a lot of great opportunities for their students. Here's a great opportunity for a lot of you guys locally, because the last supermoon of 2024 will soon be making its appearance next week. And you can have a great chance to see it on the astronomy hike led by WB Parks Naturalists, which offers a very exciting experience on the trails with telescope viewing provided by the Oakland Astronomy Club, which is going to feature sights of Saturn, Jupiter, and the Andromeda Galaxy. And we have a couple people here right now to tell us some more information about this very exciting event. So joining us right now on The Splash, we have West Bloomfield Parks naturalist Caitlin Stocker and the president of the Oakland Astronomy Club, Gary Dietz. Thank you both so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Glad to have you both with us, and really excited to hear about this great opportunity to check out the stars with this hike. So what inspired the creation of this astronomy hike, and how does it bring together nature and astronomy for the participants?
So this program is a two-part program. So one is a hike where we'll discuss some of the animals that are most active at nighttime, and then the Astronomy Club with Oakland Astronomy Club will come and discuss what can be seen with the telescopes. It's really nice to actually hit the trails and then get those two different perspectives on such a lovely feature, which is nighttime.
Absolutely. That is sure to be great, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of great sights when you're out there viewing in this experience. And for those attending the event, what do you think will be the most exciting part of viewing the night sky in West Bloomfield? Gary, what do you think?
Well, this is always a wonderful event that West Bloomfield puts on, and this time of year, it's a great time to be looking at things in the sky. As Caitlin mentioned, Saturn and Jupiter, and then Andromeda, which is the closest galaxy to our Milky Way, will also be visible. As you know, again, assuming that we're going to have clear skies. But there's a number of other things that are visible in the sky. We always look at the big five things: a planet, a galaxy, a nebula, a star cluster, or a double star. And all of those kinds of things are going to be visible in the night on the 14th. And we hope to have some clear skies and be able to check some of those out for all of the attendees.
Yeah, that's going to be great for the attendees and a great opportunity to view a lot of these things. I mean, I remember when I was younger, some of my favorite memories were being with my grandfather and viewing space through his telescope. That was always so much fun and very enlightening for me, and I'm sure it will be for a lot of the guests at this event as well. And how do you prepare for leading a night hike like this? Are there some unique considerations that you have to take note of as opposed to a daytime hike?
So some of the things that we actually take into consideration are how much the trails are actually lit up from the moon. So sometimes we will use flashlights depending on visibility for safety reasons. And then other than that, just coming in with an open mind, ready to experience the full range of your senses.
Awesome. And are there any specific challenges in ensuring good visibility for stargazing, especially on the night of the hike, and especially as we get later into the fall season?
I'll try to handle that. Usually the things that we try to look for are, ambient light coming from cars, parking lots, the city in general. And then depending on what you want to look at, the moon is also, think of it as a big light bulb in the sky, and that will obscure a lot of the fainter deep sky objects that you might want to look at. So typically, if you want to look at deep sky objects, you'll try to find a new moon, or when there is very little moon out. If you're actually wanting to look at the moon, of course, which it will be visible on the 14th. So that's one of the things that we can actually look at that night too. But it will be obscuring some of the other things in the sky for sure.
But hey, that moon is sure to be the ultimate nightlight to help people, to help guide them on the hike and to help keep them in line. For those just joining us on the Splash Live, we have West Bloomfield Park's naturalist Caitlin Stocker and president of the Oakland Astronomy Club, Gary Dietz, here to tell us about the exciting astronomy hike that's going to be taking place to get a chance at the last supermoon of 2024. Now, Gary, I got another question for you. What role does the Oakland Astronomy Club play in events like this, and what are you hoping for the participants to take away from this experience?
Well, our role is of course to kind of be somewhat of the experts on the night sky. We are a group of amateur astronomers, very knowledgeable and are astronomers. And honestly, what I always try to do is I want people to leave the evening and be able to go out in a subsequent evening and find a few of the objects that they looked at in the sky, either naked eye or with binoculars. Of course, with the telescopes, you'll have to have one of those to see some of the deep sky objects. But I always like to have people be able to identify constellations and some of the things that they saw in the sky. So they're going to remember and be able to maybe pass that on to somebody else at some point.
Great, yes. Always great to relay that information and to help get more people excited about the cosmos. Caitlin, in working on events like this and seeing how the community reacts to them, what are some of your favorite parts on working on events like this and seeing from the community firsthand?
So the nighttime programs are always some of the most magical for me. There's always some kind of excitement in the air, and you always get to see something unique. Every night hike, night program, we love having the Oakland Astronomy come out and share their expertise, and you can really see their passion, which is really nice. So that's what I really like about these night programs like this.
Awesome, and that's always great to see the excitement from those young minds of the West Bloomfield area. I got a couple more questions before we let you go. For those who may be new to stargazing or astronomy, what tips or guidance would you offer to make the most of an event like this?
What I would say is one of the things you don't want to bring is a flashlight. for instance. If you do, you want to have a red flashlight because that doesn't affect your night vision as much. But those are some of the things that are going to affect your ability to see some of the things in the sky. Secondly, I would say is learn some of the actual objects in the sky that help you. They're guiding areas of the sky that help you find things, like a constellation, the Big Dipper, the Little Dipper, those kinds of things. So if you know a couple of primary key objects out there, that then is your guiding, almost like a roadmap to find everything else in the sky. But we love to help people learn, and that's always one of our favorite things to do, is introduce people to the sky and how to find things in the sky, as they try and attempt to find things later on in the year or whatever.
And that's great for everything that you do to help inspire those young minds. One more question. What other seasonal events or activities might you recommend through West Bloomfield Parks or the Astronomy Club for residents who are interested in nature and the night sky and want to learn more?
Yes, so we're actually hosting an event called Winter Solstice. It is on December 19th, and I believe that Gary and Oakland Astronomy Club will actually be there with telescopes as well. So it'll be a really fun time. There's different time slots to join starting at 5 p.m. And it's actually a great way to see the nice December skies.
Awesome. That is going to be so much fun for the people of West Bloomfield. Caitlin, Gary, I want to thank you both so much for joining us today and to tell us all about this really fun astronomy hike. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Glad to have you both with us and glad to hear about this great event. It's going to be so much fun for the people of West Bloomfield. And some local West Bloomfield Middle School students have just completed a great accomplishment to help out a local elementary school. West Bloomfield Middle School students Lucy Zawalski and Lizzie Theory just completed their Girl Scout Bronze Award project of sharing literacy with students with a little free library that just opened up at Scotch Elementary. And here to tell us more, we have the girls themselves, West Bloomfield Middle School students Lucy Zawalski and Lizzie Theory. Thank you both so much for joining us today.
We're good.
Glad to have you with us and really interested in hearing about this project that you've been working so hard to achieve for the community. So what inspired you to create the Little Free Library?
Well, I'm a major book nerd. I just want to lay that out. And I've been noticing that a lot of kids just, downright despise reading. And it's kind of okay because not everybody is going to be, loving reading like I am. But it would be a lot easier and better for the teachers and everybody else if the kids could at least do it without completely hating it. So a Little Free Library can get them to get books for free, get books going to school instead of going to the library every 2 days, and trade out books that they don't really like. So it's kind of a win-win for everybody, the parents and teachers. Your kids are reading, yay! The kids, I'm finally reading something I like.
Awesome, I love it. That absolutely sounds like a great win-win scenario, and it certainly sounds like it's benefiting the people of Scotch right now. And you guys achieved an incredible award, the Bronze Award. How does that feel to win that award?
It feels really good that we won that award because it's the highest award a junior could get in the Girl Scout history.
All right, interesting. Yeah, and that's a great achievement. Congratulations to both of you. And I'd imagine working on a project like this, especially for a big cause like this to help out Scotch, you guys would learn quite a bit along the way. What did you learn while working on this project?
We learned how to tape and paint the library, which is kind of obvious because we had to do that. We also learned that every brush stroke that you use will be seen everywhere.
Okay, I see that. Absolutely. That's Absolutely right. And with making this for the school, what has the response been from Scotch and from the rest of the community?
A lot of kids have like the library apparently, according to my brother and the principal. And I'm glad that it's helping because that was the main point of the project. I really like that. Feels pretty good.
Okay, that's great. Joining us right now on The Splash, if you're just joining us, we have Lucy Zawalski and Lizzie Theory, West Bloomfield Middle School students and Girl Scouts who just achieved the Girl Scout Bronze Award for the Little Free Library that's just opened up at Scotch Elementary. Now, girls, going back to winning this award, which again is an incredible achievement, what does winning this Bronze Award mean to the both of you?
It means so much, and it's the highest award a junior could get. And what mean you? And it means like so much to us.
It means that we accomplished something big and that we did it right. And
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
That's it.
Oh, no, I definitely see that, and you're absolutely right. And with working on a project like this, has this inspired you to think of more projects to benefit the community?
It actually kind of has, and we're kind of working on it right now. We still have a ton of books in our garage, and the library can only fit so many. So we're going around to Little Free libraries all over Michigan and filling them so that more Little Free libraries can try to take the same effect that ours has.
Okay, great. That's awesome to hear. All right, girls, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I got one more question for you. And in talking about helping those Little Free libraries all across Michigan, how far do you think things can go with this project?
I think they can go really far if at least like people read books, because if you read books, you can learn a lot of new things.
I think it can go pretty far too, because I already mentioned I'm a book nerd, so I like reading books and I like book recommendations. So if kids at Scotch are going to friends that aren't at Scotch and telling them really good books that they can get at the library or other Little Free libraries, it can get pretty far. It could even get out of the state, out of the country even.
Wow, you're absolutely right. This could do so much for those kids, and I can't wait to see just how far this project will go. Lucy, Lizzie, I want to thank you both so much for your time in joining us today on The Splash.
Thanks for having us.
Really happy to hear about this great project that these two girls worked on, and glad to hear that it's going to help inspire so many readers in the area. So big congratulations once again to Lucy and Lizzie for all that they do. A lot of other great stories and a lot of other great information to come with The Splash Live right after this break. Live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from West Bloomfield. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
Hi, I'm Chris Fry, Park Superintendent of West Bloomfield Parks. Congratulations, Civic Center TV, on 1 million views on YouTube. Thank you for all you do in the community, and thank you for having me on The Splash throughout the season to talk about activities out in the parks. Chris Fry, proud to be 1 in a million.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on civiccentertv.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at civiccentertv.com and click schedule at the top of the screen. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Schaff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. Now, we're currently in the thick of things with the fall season. Leaves are starting to fall, air's getting a little chillier, and you're probably going to be starting to rake those leaves up pretty soon, but you might not have to, because by leaving the fallen leaves on the ground this autumn, you might be helping our wildlife and local pollinators. Here to tell us more about some of these benefits, we have the Water Resources Commissioner for Oakland County, Jim Nash, joining us on The Splash. Jim, good morning.
Oh, glad to be here. I appreciate you having me.
Glad to have you with us. And I'm very curious about this conversation because as a kid, I've always been told once those leaves start to hit the ground, you rake them up. But you're saying that might not be necessary. So what are some of the purposes of leaving these fallen leaves?
Well, this is information from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. They talk about these kind of things, and we do public education. That's one of the major things that my office works on. It's basically self-mulching because over the winter they'll break down and start to become part of the soil, and even if they're in this late spring, you rake them up and get rid of them. They've had times for the animals over the winter to winter, so they can survive. They're small insects and small animals will come out in the spring. So this is good for your gardens. It's good for your lawns, especially around the edges of lawns. That way you're keeping those healthy biomes. From the microscopic to the little critters that are running around. It's healthy for the environment, and in the long run, it's healthier for your yards.
That's very interesting. A lot of great benefits to leaving those leaves on the ground. So you talked about leaving them as like soil or a natural fertilizer. What's the difference in utilizing these leaves than it might be for some other types of fertilizer?
Well, whenever you're doing natural, you don't have to worry about ingredients put in it. You don't have to worry about where it was coming from. The costs of producing it. You're doing it yourself. It's part of nature. This is what keeps plains going. The trees, as you don't want them knee deep, but the trees going that release these leaves, it's part of nature. It's their own recovering into the soils. We have a lot of issues with soils. We're losing topsoils all over the world, and anything we can do to make sure that we're keeping those healthy biomes underneath the leaves, it's a good thing. And the less tilling you have to do, the better. All these things are better for the biome in the soils and above it.
That's absolutely right. A lot of great benefits for those soils. Jim, is there anything recently that you have learned that maybe you weren't previously aware of in terms of the benefits with these leaves?
Well, I'm always learning. I hope as long as I'm breathing, I'm learning. We're always finding new things, and this was a new, output from the agriculture department. So this is something that, whenever we're seeing something that can benefit folks, and we can reach out and show them how it works. This was on our Facebook page. We do a lot of other social media, and again, we do education programs from 4th and 5th graders to adults, and this is the kind of thing that we can talk about.
That's great to see, and a lot of great education opportunities, because this is certainly educating myself, and I'm sure this will educate everyone who watches this as well. So I just want to be absolutely clear with some of this. So you're saying maybe don't pick up any of those leaves throughout the fall season? Is that what you're saying?
Again, I would focus on gardens and around the edges of your yards and around the house, because it's insulating too. And around anything that can benefit from that, basically. Again, if you have 500 trees in your yard, you don't want to be knee deep in leaves, but it's good to leave some as cover on the ground. So that's basically what they're saying.
Okay, that makes sense, but that also might be bad news for some of those kids hoping to get out of those chores of raking the leaves. Sounds like they do still have some work to do. I'm speaking with Water Resources Commissioner for Oakland County, Jim Nash, talking about some of the benefits of using those fallen leaves as a natural soil to help out your lawns and your gardens at home. Now, I want to talk about maybe what happens after the fall season and after the winter season. Once that snow starts to melt, what would be the next steps to those leaves that are still on the ground?
I would say pretty much whenever you can, leave them. Especially in a garden, if you're between leaves, between plants, you can put these. They also help actually shield for the growth of weeds coming up in a place where you don't want them, because it shades it and it doesn't let them get as much light. So it kind of reduces the weeds between them. And again, whenever you're doing this, because they'll be partially whatever you want to clean up off the yard in the spring, that's good for composting because it's had a chance to already start that breakdown process. There's several different things you want to have in that kind of process. You want to have grass clippings because that's got more carbon and nutrients and leaves, and then you mix in vegetables from your house to put in that. So that's the kind of thing you can do with that in the longer term. Because I would encourage everybody to do compost.
Wow, so it sounds like you're saying maybe to hold on to these leaves for as long as you can and to get as much use out of them as possible. Is that right?
Yeah, it makes for better soil for when you want to add soil in a coming year. You'll have something to use, especially with composting, but also keeping those leaves on the ground. They'll just become dirt over a year, another year or two, and so it'll put layers of nutrient-rich dirt on top of what you already got.
That's great. It's like that old saying, one man's trash is another person's treasure, and there's always a benefit to something. Maybe once its original benefit might be past its time. So, Jim, what's it been like because you talked about some of these education programs, what's it been like to educate the greater Oakland County about some of these ways and some of these resources?
Oh, absolutely. We do, again, fourth and fifth graders, we have watershed festivals. One is for the Clinton River watershed. It's at Oakland University. The other one is for the Rouge River watershed, and that's at the Science Institute at Cranbrook. And we have, between the two, we have 2,500, 3,000 kids a year go through that. And they learn all about the environment, all about what we do, all about protecting the water resources and all those kind of things. We have stations from organizations all over the region, state, federal, nonprofit. We also do a high school program, introducing high school students to what we do as an industry and how we're protecting the environment and doing that and addressing climate change. And then for adults, we have all kinds of things. We have programs for speeches. I give library talks. I go to religious groups, libraries, civic groups. We talk about green infrastructure, all the things we're doing to address climate change. So these are the kind of things that we do for education for everybody, basically, fourth grade to adult.
Wow, that is so many great opportunities to help get Oakland County informed. I always love to hear it. Jim, I know you're a busy guy. I got one more question for you before we let you go. Where can people go to maybe get some of this quick information so that people can be fully up to date with what to do with their lawns and with their soils?
Well, you can go to our Facebook page, Oakland County WRC. At Facebook. You can go to our website, oakgov.com/water. We have a wealth of information, anything you can think of about water, protecting the environment, green infrastructure, all the things we're doing regionally to address all these situations we have. Lead lines, affordability. All the different things that we work with every single day with communities all over the region.
So many great information, opportunities, and resources right at your fingertips. Water Resources Commissioner for Oakland County, Jim Nash. We thank you so much for your time today.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
Always interesting to hear about these new ways to help preserve your leaves and to help protect the environment. So big thank you to Jim Nash for his time and educating us on these ways to keep your environment safe. Now, November is a month for many things, but one of the big awareness things that takes place throughout November is No Shave November. And the Orchard Lake Police Department are once again participating in No Shave November, supporting Maggie's Wigs for Kids of Michigan, an incredible cause. And here to tell us more about it, we have the Chief of Police with the Orchard Lake Police Department, Jeffrey Gomez. Jeffrey, thanks so much for joining us today.
Good morning, Jake. Thank you.
Glad to have you with us and really excited to hear about this great cause that you guys have been doing. How did this partnership with Maggie's Wigs for Kids begin?
Well, thanks again. And I'm following Commissioner Nashner. He's got a wonderful beard. I'm just starting mine. There's a few more grays in here, but it hardly even shows up on camera. But to get back to your question, we started back in 2016 when former Orchard Lake officer Dan Caldwell approached me. He is now with the Milford Police Department, but back in 2016, he became involved in this organization and was trying to recruit other police departments to join in because it is a wonderful cause. Wigs for Kids is a 501c3 nonprofit that was founded by Maggie Varney back in 2003. And what they do is they provide wigs and support services at no charge to children experiencing hair loss as a result of illness or cancer treatments. And it really is a wonderful program. And, it's something that I felt was very important to continue to support.
And that's great that you supported. And don't feel too bad about the beard you got so far. At least you've got something. I've unfortunately already had to trim mine down throughout the month, but it's great that you are sticking to the cause. And I want to ask what you've seen from your fellow officers throughout the years as you've participated in this event.
So participation when we started was pretty high. At the time, our policy prohibited facial hair. And since then, we've relaxed our policies, but it still has to be trimmed within reason. So this year, I gave our officers the incentive to go beyond the neatly trimmed requirements in our policy. And then we have a female sergeant, and in order for her to participate, I'm allowing her to wear her hair down, opposed to what policy states. So try to be inclusive and let everybody participate that wants to. Every officer that wants to participate has to give a donation. We don't have a minimum, but they're directed to donate to Maggie's Wigs for Kids. And again, we're just trying to get the word out too. If any of our residents or people in the community would like to donate as well. Back to getting started with Wigs for Kids. They felt that police officers were a good place to start for community awareness because we are out in the community and visible figures, and police officers traditionally did not have facial hair, so that's kind of how that started.
That's great, and it's awesome that there's so much support from your fellow officers. We have a lot of photos available if you're watching on Civic Center TV where we have officers from over the years just growing out their facial hair and showing their support for the cause. You can see them on the screen right now, and that's amazing that you have this camaraderie and this support from your fellow officers. And Jeffrey, I want to ask you this. Why is it so important for you guys to participate in this event?
Well, again, I feel it's a wonderful program that supports children affected by medical conditions such as alopecia and cancer treatments. We did have one of our officers who's now retired. His son had a battle with cancer, and we saw firsthand how childhood cancer can affect children and their self-esteem, their self-worth. And this organization really works towards helping them. They do counseling on an individual and group and family basis, and improving their image and self-worth. And we find that to be very important.
That's great. And I'm glad that you mentioned so many different causes, not only just supporting cancer, but also supporting alopecia. My father actually has alopecia, and he lost his hair shortly after he left high school. So that was always struggle for him when he was younger. So it's great that there's awareness for these causes and awareness from the community. For those just joining us, we have Chief Jeffrey Gomez from the Orchard Lake Police Department joining us to talk about the police department's partnership with Maggie's Wigs for Kids of Michigan. Now, Jeffrey, do you have any personal connection to this partnership, and what does it mean to you specifically?
I don't have any personal connection other than Officer Caldwell, a friend of mine, getting us involved several years ago. But it's very rewarding to me over the years that we receive letters and photos from the children that we've helped. Every $800 that's raised provides a wig at no cost to a young person experiencing hair loss. And again, I found that very rewarding to receive the cards and letters and photographs of these young recipients. And again, it helps them with their self-esteem and to feel important and that their affliction is not the only thing that is visible about them.
That's great. And I'm sure reading those letters and seeing those words from the community has got to warm the heart and really make you feel good about what you're doing. And what are some of the biggest things you've seen from the community as they rally together and do their part to support this cause as well?
Well, it's really nice to see our residents and community members, maybe not necessarily in Orchard Lake, but the greater West Bloomfield area has supported us over the years and given under our name. If I didn't mention before, we are one of 10 police departments this year participating in this program, and we tend to have a friendly competition amongst the other departments about who can raise the most for the program. So the camaraderie and the friendly competition only benefits the children in this program.
Hey, a little friendly competition is always great, especially for a cause like this. Jeffrey, I want to thank you so much for your time today. One more quick question. Where can people go to learn a little more information about this great cause?
So www.wigsforkids.org. So that's wigs, the number 4, kids.org. And if you'd like to participate, if you'd like to donate, if you'd like to help, I've also added a link on our Orchard Lake Police Department Facebook page. It's pinned to the top. So you can also follow that link there. And then if you'd like to see the Pigs for Wigs initiative, that's what this is called, under Wigs for Kids, go to their website again and then click on the How You Can Help tab. And you'll see right at the top, it says Pigs for Wigs there.
Wigs for Kids, lots of great things to come from this organization. Jeffrey, I want to thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Glad to talk about this great cause. And once again, as Jeffrey said, you can go to www.wigs4kids.org to find out more information and to support the cause yourself. We got other great stories and other great events right after this break. Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
Good nutrition can help make sure you have enough iron, calcium, and vitamin C in your body, which can make it harder for lead to enter your bloodstream. Help protect your family from the harmful effects of lead.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
I'm Gina Gregory, president of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. I'm excited that Civic Center TV has reached 1 million views on YouTube. Congratulations. That's just terrific. We appreciate everything Civic Center does for the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society and the community. For us, they promote and highlight our events. It's awesome to have them available 24/7 on YouTube. I'm Gina Gregory and proud to be one in a million.
bringing you stories and memories from Kego Harbor. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Schaff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. Right here in West Bloomfield, we always try to help educate the young minds of the community, and there's going to be a great, there is a great program that's going on right now with the West Bloomfield School District, with the Jamie Daniels Foundation, as they are educating kids to help prevent drug addiction and to help highlight what you can do to help protect those that are currently dealing with drug addiction. We have a great guest joining us right now on The Splash Live, the founder of the Jamie Daniels Foundation, Lisa Daniels Goldman. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good morning to you. And it's amazing to hear about all of this work that you're doing to help with the West Bloomfield School District and beyond. Could you tell us a little bit about what is the Jamie Daniels Foundation?
Sure. So the Jamie Daniels Foundation was named in loving memory of my son, Jamie, who died of fentanyl poisoning while he was in treatment in Florida at the age of 23, after he was manipulated by doctors in treatment for financial gain through his insurance. And but the main point of why we started the foundation was felt we had to send Jamie away. There wasn't enough help here locally in Michigan. And once we found out what had happened to him, knowing what we went through, what we continue to go through on a daily basis, not having Jamie in our lives, we didn't want anyone else to suffer that way. So we came out as a family and told Jamie's story and continue to tell Jamie's story. So that hopefully, if we can save one person, that's what we do. So we raise funds. We don't provide programming. We raise funds for programming that help with recovery, stigma reduction, and prevention.
Lisa, first and foremost, very sorry to hear about what you've had to go through and about the loss of Jamie, but it's great that you've been able to turn this into something to help people all throughout the state of Michigan and hopefully beyond. And I want to go into you talk about how you help provide recovery resources for these kids. What are some of those things that you do provide?
So for our recovery pillar, we have helped finance collegiate recovery programming within 9 universities and colleges around the state. And these are programs that are developed on campus in conjunction with the universities and colleges that they're at. And you have to apply, you are vetted, and what the programs do are those that are in recovery who either want to go to university or college or get back to school because they had to leave to go into recovery, have a safe place and somewhere where they can go to continue their recovery with meetings and have 24/7 peer support on campus. And we know that, the stats show us that 85% of the students that are in these collegiate recovery programs go on to graduate and continue with their careers and stay in recovery.
That is amazing. And that's all of this information is so great to hear in helping all of these kids. And when you hear statistics like this, does it just show how far the foundation has come and how much work, like what lies ahead? Things like that. Like, where do you see the foundation going throughout the next few years?
Well, I see us continuing until they don't need us anymore. Unfortunately, we have a drug epidemic in this country, and with financial support, more programs are developed, evidence-based programming that are helping these our youth. And we now started our prevention, which is in the elementary schools. And if we teach kids mindfulness and coping through yoga, the goal is to give them the tools that they need, that if they feel anxious or depressed, that they don't turn to self-medicate, and they have tools that they can use themselves in order to avoid that going into middle school and high school. If so, that's why we work with other nonprofits. We work with groups around, like the Greater West Bloomfield Community Coalition, who has this mindfulness and coping through yoga that they implemented into the elementary schools throughout West Bloomfield. And the feedback we've received in the last 2 years that they've had it in the school, I mean, it's just been incredible. This is the second full year that they'll have the program for the students. We've developed it in other communities as well. Or I should say, we've financed it in other communities as well. But the children and the teachers learn mindfulness and coping, so that when our wonderful yoga instructor isn't there in the school teaching, the teachers can help the students if they're having a bad day. And it helps with bullying and just, all these things that our kids are now dealing with through social media and everything else. Knowing how to calm yourself at a young age will help you hopefully develop those skills as you get older, so that you don't turn to drugs and alcohol and self-medicate and have that potential for substance use disorder to develop.
And that's great that you're working to start with these kids at younger ages so that they know this information as they grow up. For those just joining us, we are talking with Lisa Daniels Goldman, the co-founder of the Jamie Daniels Foundation, who's working with West Bloomfield schools to help talk about substance abuse and to help prevent it. Now, I do want to ask you, Lisa, what are some of the things with drug abuse and drug addiction that many people might not be aware of, like things to maybe look out for?
That's a hard one, because unfortunately, you don't have stages. It's not like stage 1, you see this. Somebody who is in distress with substance use disorder, you can go from behaving completely normal and nobody would know, and then the next day, it's out of control. But things that you can look for with your kids is, concentration levels, isolating yourself in your room, isolating yourself from your friends, falling asleep, being excessively tired, anxious, angry. There are a lot of, and when I say these things, you can look at any child and say, well, I dealt with that with my kid and they're not on drugs. And that's true. So it's a very difficult disease to just pinpoint a start. But if parents educate themselves beforehand, when their kids are young, and know what the potential is, because our kids are so much smarter than we are today. They have so much access through social media. Everybody has a phone. Everybody has a computer now. I mean, you have to through school and everything, we want to be in touch with our kids 24/7 when they walk out the door from our home. And through these social media apps, be it, TikTok, Snapchat, they are ordering drugs and they are coming through, the US mail, and you wouldn't know. And I want to stress for parents who are listening, you do not have to be an addict to overdose. Kids are going out on the weekends or with their friends. They are still, if they think that a prescription from their parents or their grandparents' medicine cabinet, well, it was prescribed by a doctor, so it's safe, we can take it too. It's not true. And those are the things that we have to educate ourselves as parents to know that one misstep, your kids' friends say, oh, I got this from my brother and he got it from his friend, but nobody knows who that dealer was that he got it from. And there are so many counterfeit pills that are perfectly that look identical to Xanax and Percocets and Adderall.
That's right.
You wouldn't know the difference having them side by side. So you do not have to be an addict to overdose. One pill can kill.
That is absolutely right. Lisa, thank you so much for your information and for talking about your foundation.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Really happy to have Lisa with us to share her story and to share how she hopes to inspire the young minds of the community and to help keep them safe from the dangers of drug addiction. Always great to hear. West Bloomfield Library has a chance to meet community at Connect. The West Bloomfield Township Public Library is reaching out with an innovative community engagement event at Connect on November 11th from 1 to 2 p.m. This special outreach brings library services directly to residents, making it easier for everyone to have an accessible range of resources without a trip to the library itself. The free event will feature opportunities to explore some new books and some new media, sign up for library cards, renew membership, and place holds on some of your favorite titles. Attendees can even check out books and other materials on site. Library staff will be available to answer questions and guide you through any digital services. Join in and connect with your library in a whole new way right in your neighborhood. And if you want to learn more information about this great event, you can check out right now on their Facebook page at West Bloom LIB to find out more information about this event and if you want to get involved. But that's sure going to be a lot of fun for the seniors and a great chance to help get them out there and reading some great books. Drake Sports Park is unveiling their brand new playground. Very exciting news for families and park goers, as the new playground at Drake Sports Park is officially open and ready for action. Located about 400 feet north of the old playground, this new space includes a very large swing set and a unique climbing tower, the first of its kind in our park system. With the weather still nice, it's the perfect time to head over and check out this fantastic new addition to the community, and a great chance for all the kids to get out and enjoy this weather while we still have it before it gets really, really snowy, and a great chance for everyone to get some exercise and to have a lot of fun at the park. So grab the family and explore Drake Sports Park's latest playground feature and swing, climb, and enjoy yourselves all day long. Facebook for this park. If you want to see the photos, you can check it out at WB Parks, or you can check it out at their website, wbparks.org, to see the photos and to see all of the fun for yourself. The call to action is now to help local people in need ahead of the holidays by donating to the Diabetic Food Pantry. Spirit of Grace Church in West Bloomfield is calling for donations to support their Diabetic Food Pantry and Blessing Box. The church is always in need of non-perishable foods, especially peanut butter, canned vegetables, soups, pasta, you name it. It will be of great use for the church. Donations help provide nutritious options for those managing diabetes in the community. You can learn more by visiting their website at spiritofgrace.church, checking out their Facebook page, or calling them at 248-338-3505. One more time, that is 248-338-3505. And they are located at 2399 Figa Avenue. Every contribution makes a big difference for local families in need, and that is sure to help out a lot of families in the community. But a lot of great stuff and a lot of great stories that we've had all day on The Splash. And if you want to check out all of the stories and get a closer look at the things we've been talking about on today's show, you can check out our shows and programs on demand at civiccentertv.com. We have a QR code that we can put on the screen in just a moment that will take you directly to our website. There's the QR code. And that will take you directly to our website to engage with the videos and to check out all of the segments from today's show and from our previous shows. So lots of great chances to check out what we've been up to and to get a good sense of what's been going on in the community. But that is going to do it for us today on the Splash Live. Lots of great stuff and lots of great stories to get into. I've been your host, Jake Schaff. Big thank you to all of our guests and to Kevin McIntosh for his work today in the field, and to Calvin Brown and Tyler Keefe to Master Control. This has been the Splash Live, local, social. It's the Splash on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.